All right. Today we have Ashley on with us, and you just recently had a session with Dan, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. Well, do you want to give us a little bit information on the background first, and then I can dive into some questions?
Yeah. So as far as like
Who
how
you
the session
are,
went,
well, who you are, and I like to get to know the person.
okay.
That way, when we're going through the interview, it sees if it matches, with what you're saying.
Okay. Well, my name's Ashley. I have two little boys, 3 and 15 months, and then I have been married to my husband for 10 years.
Awesome. Okay. So are you thinking about getting your kids or your husband done yet?
So me and my husband did ours together, and I want to send him all my kids' information. So yeah,
Okay. That's why I like to get to know people at the very beginning because a lot of times, especially like with me, it's like, oh, wow, it's so accurate that I'm going to go ahead and get my whole family. Um,
yeah.
so, what do you remember about your type or your design?
Um, I remember a lot. It was a lot of information that he went over, and so I it was kind of crazy as he was diving into it. Like it just made me and my husband laugh because it's like, oh yeah, that's totally it's totally us. Um, the thing that stood out to me is that he called me a generator,
Okay.
which I have been told that by several people before, and I just didn't think anything of it.
Hmm.
Um, that I not necessarily suck people's energy, but I give them more energy to keep going. And so I thought it was interesting that he brought that up also. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll start listening now.
Yeah, that's a confirmation of something you've heard throughout your life.
Yeah.
Uh, do you remember what your husband was?
He was a manifester or manifester generator also.
Okay.
And so um I am trying to remember off his what he said about Jake. Um I can't for the life of me remember.
It's okay. We'll get Jake on here one day. Did you learn any facts about yourself?
Um yes and no. Over the past couple of years I've done a lot of self like healing,
Hmm.
and so a lot of that stuff like he was talking about, I was like it was like okay, I understand, I get it now. um to the point of, oh goodness, I just lost my train of thought, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
um oh gosh.
It's okay. We'll see. I always say when those moments happen, that means spirit didn't want you to give that information. So we can definitely see if it comes back around.
Okay.
Did you have any aha moments or surprises?
Yes, I did. When he was saying, goodness, um it's like everything just left my brain that he told me. And I've been telling everybody. I guess one thing for me, I didn't know, like an aha moment. Like, I mean, it's kind of, I guess to some people it might be a little okay, whatever. But to me, he told me, or I guess he told my husband that I was a safe place for him. And I get like, for me, I should have known that. But to hear it from my husband that I am his safe place, it kind of was like, oh, geez, okay. As I'm taken aback about it, I guess it's stuff that you kind of take for granted. But when you hear somebody say it and he was asking those questions, I was like, okay.
But that's monumental because you know that I'm pretty sure in that moment has also strengthened you and your husband's relationship, especially in your eyes, on your perception, because some people don't, I don't see it. I've had some people tell me that, and I don't see it. And when they do, it's like, oh, okay, you kind of honor the relationship a little bit more. So
Yeah. Yeah. And so when we were talking about it, he was like, well, duh, of course you are my safe place. He goes, I can tell you anything. You don't judge me. We sit there and we talk through it. We talk through every possibility, every outcome, every pro, every con, and we just talk through it all. And I was like, and he goes, why wouldn't you be my safe place? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I never really, I don't know. It's something I guess I kind of took for granted and not really thought about.
mhm. Yes, no, I can understand that. And that's beautiful that that was able to come out in that session. Um, and that's another thing that y'all can talk about, you and your husband.
Yeah.
So, so how was your session with Dan overall, would you say?
It was really good. It was, like I said, it was a lot of information, and a lot of it was like, wow. And it was really good to just for him to pick up those things, and for him to bring things that nobody else would know unless like you were a medium or a psychic, or just based off those charts. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I tend to take a intuitive approach to the things that I do, and I've had several different readings, but as soon as Dan did mine, it was like, okay, this is very, very accurate, and it's stuff that only you would know that's going
Yeah.
on internally. So,
Yes.
because you're the only one that knows you best most of the
Yes.
times.
Yep.
Um, so that's yeah, I like how you said that. And we pretty much get the same response from everybody, including myself, is that it's so accurate beyond pretty much any reading that I've had out there. And I don't even really want to classify it as a reading. I would like to say it's like a session.
Yeah, I felt like I was seeing that. To me, it felt like I was sitting there with my friend and we were just having this conversation, and he was telling me all about things that he was doing. And that's how I felt. It didn't feel, even though it was over the phone, it didn't feel like it was one-sided. It felt very, what's the word I'm looking for? Connective. It felt like he was sitting right in front of us just talking to us.
Mm-hmm.
And the feeling, the vibe that he brought was very calming, was very, just made you almost feel safe in a way that he was telling you this personal stuff.
I think we actually did a video. We talked about that on one of the shows. That's what's so beautiful about human design, is that Dan is, and doing sessions with Dan, is that he's able to say things. I'm so glad you said that. Say things that make it more like an intimate, like a brother and sister, like I've known you forever, and you can have this safe conversation with somebody because it's non-judgmental, and it's open. It's just like there's a nice flow. So,
and he left the conversation open, and he made you feel safe, so you could tell him things, like you could tell him personal things. And there was, on my end anyways, there was no judgment. He just led into it. He went into it, and he goes, this is why, this is because of this. And so I thought that was pretty cool, because usually when you're sitting there talking to like a friend or something, and you tell them that, they're like, that's okay, and so, but like sitting there telling him things, you're like, okay, I can keep opening up, this is how I'm feeling, this is what's going on. And so
I love that you touched on that. That's important that we let people know that. So, have you thought about how you plan on integrating everything that you've learned into your life? Or I know, like you said,
yes,
it's a
so
lot.
for me, I'm just gonna take it day by day. It I feel like trying to incorporate everything at once might be a little overwhelming.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna, the first one he brought up of I kind of already knew it, but he brought up it kind of makes me a little mad when someone has something I have or wears the same thing I have, or and so with that I'm going to work really hard on not letting it bother me. And it shouldn't bother me. It's something that's really petty, but I'm going to work on that. So that's the first thing I'm going to incorporate into my life of like, it's just something. It's not like is it hurting me? No.
Well,
Is it?
it's the awareness that kills it. And I'm so glad
Yes.
that you said that too, because it's those things that just are the natural biological ticks that are inside of us. We don't know where the hell they're coming from most of the
Right.
time. And I'm pretty sure there's been moments in your life where you're like, why am I worried about this? But now that you know that it's just something that is you at the end of the day, it's the bringing the awareness to it that kills it. So
Yeah. Yep. And so that's something I'm going to work on with myself of just letting it go and being okay with it, because it's not something I can help. And why? I don't know.
exactly. I love that you brought that up too. This was a great conversation. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, it was a really good reading. I hope more people do it. I hope he gets a lot more business, because this is something I think a lot of people would enjoy and would really love to hear, and I think would help them in their healing journey in life. So I hope, my hope is that he gets a lot more business.
Well, that's the whole reason we are doing these, what we like to call exit interviews, so that we can get the word out and other people can learn more about it, because human design is kind of new and not too many people are familiar with it, but it's definitely, y'all's feedback helps. And if you send anyone our way, definitely we like to do that too, because it is, me and Dan are definitely on a mission to help wake up other people to their true nature, so that we can start living the way that we're
Yeah.
supposed to, instead of the way that the society is. So anyone who's viewing this, please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And if you would like more information on how to book a session with Dan, you can look it down below. So thank you, Ashley, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Please let us know if we can help you integrate, or if you have any questions. And I know Dan does a series of other sessions, and I would love to talk to you again when you find out about your kids, because that's them. I love where the kids come in, because now that you're a mom that's awake to this, you can help your kids, and we can.
Yep.
That's where we're going to make that change, where we're not repeating the same
Habits
programs. Exactly. So I really
I'm
want to
excited to get my information over to them for them. So
I would love to stay in touch.
yes, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.